bracket. That's all I'll say. You know, I got them going all the way, LGD. And as is typical for TI, the team that, you know, the series you expect to be, guaranteed game 3. I mean, come on, that's going to happen. Gets the 2-0, whereas these series maybe in the morning, you're expecting more of these kind of walkovers. So those beautiful game 3s.
So you're not that confident in LGD that you think they would 2-0 this? You think they're going to win the whole thing, but you didn't think they were that much better than Vici?
Well, I think if you were looking at the series today, out of the first, second, and third, this is the one you would have picked for a third game, don't you think?
I think it's a really
LGD would win. Obviously.
Yeah. I think, though, it's one of those really important things to actually mention when you are talking about it. What you are touching upon, I feel like, is the story of this TI. I've said it on other panels. I look at the field of play. We have a bunch of longtime veterans that some of them even have the potential to win their second TI. And then we have these underdog teams. And when we've looked at the underdog teams in the lower portion of the bracket, they have overperformed in pretty much all of their matchups. And I do want to take a moment here now to kind of say, when we look down in the lower portion of the bracket, who do we think the biggest threat is? Because we saw a lot of those underdog teams play really well, but we've also seen the teams that have kind of risen above. Who do you think the biggest threat is in the lower portion of the bracket?
Infamous!
You think so?
Yes.
You think they're the real deal?
I think it's always scary to play against a team that absolutely have nothing to lose. Like, seriously. There's nobody who has less to lose than Infamous. They're already overperformed. I don't think they expect a top 8. They're already there. So they're scary. They can play their hearts out and be like, you know, we're just doing our stuff, see how far it goes. Apart from that, I would say the loser of the next matchup is probably the biggest threat to LGD.
True. Yeah,
we don't know who that is.
That is really true. So we have a lot of exciting stuff that's still coming up for today's games, and not only today's games, we have a lot of big reveals. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an Ogre celebration ceremony soon.
Come on, Rich.
That's what you're hoping for.
I'm sorry.
It's been written since the very beginning of this tournament.
No. Just because Ogre is this big meta guy, he's all huge. He's got 2 heads. Wow. Very exciting. Do you know how popular Wind Ranger is? I mean, she's a hero that people come to Dota. She's the face of Underlords. She is a hero that people see and they want to play. You guys are underestimating the percentage of the population that we don't hear from.
Ogre is fantastic.
That is true.
You're not playing blood contract.
Really good.
You are doing it all wrong. Thankfully, we have somebody who's doing it right. We're going to jump down to the floor, and we're going to hear what Casey has to say.
We're going to talk to Ame right now about both of those games. I want to know what it's like to play a team that you are so used to playing. You know each other so well. You know your style of play, and there's also such a huge level of respect there.
首先，恭喜获得比赛的胜利。我们想问一下，就是对于一支你那么熟悉的队伍，跟他们交手是什么样的一个感觉？
就毕竟嘛，我们之前训练也打了很多把，就都比较了解嘛。然后就真打起来的话，看发挥嘛。应该就我们运气比较好吧，可能他们让我们的吧。
We played many practice matches with them before coming to TI, and we know them very well. I feel like we're a bit lucky, and I feel like they're letting us off a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting, interesting. There's a chance that you're going to be playing OG next. Are you looking forward to the potential of a TI 8 Grand Final rematch?
他觉得非常有意思。你下一个对手有可能是 OG， 你对于重新上演一次去年 TI8 的决赛有什么样的看法？
我非常期待跟他们比赛。
I look very forward to seeing them in the match.
Okay, can't wait. Congratulations again, Ame. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for your help too, Helen. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think one of the big things that obviously we like to hear them celebrate quite a bit, but also we start to look ahead to the next matchup in OG versus EG. This one's really exciting, and we don't have much time before we have to jump down. Dendi, I want to know, do you think that OG might be the team to do it? It's a little bit early in the tournament still, but do you think that they have a shot to be not only 2-time TI champs, but back-to-back champs?
They really do have chances to do it, but you know, anything can happen. It's TI.
Infamous.
So, infamous.
Infamous. All right, we are going to hear a little bit more from the folks over at OG. They sat down with Casey. Let's hear how they're feeling about this TI.
No-tail, Seb. Gosh,
those names sound familiar. Why? Where do I feel like I've... You know what it is? I feel like this looks familiar next to you guys. Returning TI8 champions. Is it the same way that you left it?
Looks the same to me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a few changes on the back. I hope there better be.
It's missing also a couple of people around it. Last time I saw it, it was like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like in the days and the months following TI when you've won versus when you've left something there? I mean, everybody we've talked to in this couch talks about that being the one thing they want to do and the ability to look back and wish they had done things differently. What is it like to not have that?
Life has been very relieving for me ever since. There's been that one thing that was there for a very long time that was no longer.
Work towards that, it's like your life is about that. Once you actually do it, it becomes harder to go for it because it's not as obvious. It has to come within yourself. Like you have to kind of craft it. This fire, this motivation, and the people that are gonna go up against
something. Well, everybody should have the freedom to do what they want. And yeah.
For the first time.
There's so many things about this TI that are different from last year's. It's a new audience. We're a different team, probably. I mean, we grew. We're going to play against 17 different teams that are very good at the game. The Chinese audience I've always admired how the fervor, like they're going to root for the teams that they're going to decide to root for, and it's most likely going to be the Chinese teams. And they're one of the very few audience that also roots against the teams that are trying to defeat their favorites. And it's rough sometimes. It gets rough. I remember my first tournaments in China. Sometimes it was overwhelming. It was getting to me. I was like, wow, but they're actually chanting against me or they're booing me, or it has happened. Not always, but it happens. It's part of it. It's competition, right? I mean, let's say we had a tournament in France and this would happen. I would be like, yeah, they're cheering up, cheering me up. TI in France, yeah, that's not going to happen. I need to get over that.
One day, man, one day. We just keep the game alive long enough. Yeah. Maybe all the other nations will fall and France will be the last one standing. Maybe. And then you'll get your TI.
Boy, that got dark. Doesn't need to be a world war for it to be over.
No, but we're just talking about the feasibility of TI happening in France.
We're just going through options, nothing more.
That's about the only option that we have. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to add to fans of OG and fans of Dota? Just in general, just about where we are right now, sitting here getting ready for TI9.
Just remember why you sat down to play for the first time and why you keep sitting down to play. I mean, maybe you forget along the way. I have forgotten along the way, but it's a game that I truly love, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. There's so many players. Just the good parts again. Focus on the positivity, enjoy the games, enjoy your teammates. Don't queue for the next game if you're in a bad mood and you know it's going to be a bad game. Queue if you're looking for the fun, if you're looking for something good, if you're looking for that nice game or nice experience. And that doesn't mean winning. Some of the best games are still spent losing. And yeah, some people get caught up in that as well. Play for fun. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Play for fun, says the Flower himself. It is amazing advice. It is great. You should indeed do that. Playing for millions of dollars, also great. If you can do that, I definitely advise that as well, as we have got a match coming up that is for millions of dollars, but I don't think these teams are looking at it like that. We got EG versus OG coming up, but let's put that aside for a second, because there's been another competition going on, and that is the one for the Arcana. Will it be Ogre? Will it be Wind Ranger? Let's find out. Select, you get to keep your job. I am very happy for you. Oh my God, are we live?
Can we do sync?
Yeah, you're live. Oh, I always knew it. The memes win again, Casey. We beat him again. I love you, Ogre Magi. I love this community. She got trashed. She got trans! Yes! 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 Ogre boys! Fake boys, thick boys for life. I love you, Ogre. I love this community. We're always right. Casey, we did it. We are Ogre Magi, all of us today, this blessed day. Thank you. Yes. All right, we actually have Jake's reaction live as well for when the vote was done. He definitely is a very, very happy man.
He was. I'm glad he didn't hit Casey.
Now the question is, would he have actually quit?
Yeah, he would have.
He would have.
Yeah, the one thing I know about Slacks is like the only thing that really affects him is the community, and I think he would have been seen as like a sellout or something like that. So he's got to do it.
Oh God, I've made a lot of promises. I've never ate socks yet. Oh man, I'm a sellout. That means.
Did you tell me you like talk to your doctor? He's like, yo, you can't do that.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
really
so I had a
bad.
doctor's note for the community, so I'm good, I guess.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, I must say, you know, I voted Wind Ranger, but I'm happy either way because Ogre. I'd rather have a lot of Ogres in my games than a lot of Wind Rangers.
Well, have I got the tournament for you, Shiver? The International 2019. You're going to see nothing but Ogre. This hero is dominating the charts. I don't know what kind of concept they're going to go with. 3 heads? Smart Ogre? Something else?
Both are terrifying, actually.
Yeah.
Both can be very terrifying. I can't wait. However, we have to wait for a while. And we also have to talk about something coming up. We have OG versus EG coming up. And that matchup, you know, we're going to break it down. In case you're new to Dota, which I know there's a lot of people just tuning in for the first time, and there's a lot of history between these two teams on multiple fronts. But Tsunami, you want to break down the most recent one, the most obvious one.
The one that everyone always knows of is the Super Major drama. Let me take you back a little over a year. No-Tell, Fly, brothers in arms for as long as you could imagine. They played Han together. They came into the Dota community together. They briefly separated, went their separate ways. They came back together. And then it all fell apart.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the Super Major, right after ESL Birmingham, which, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend another documentary that OG recently released, which kind of shed some light on it. But 2 teammates, almost nearly family members with how close they were, they separated. And after that, it's just been drama ever since. Not necessarily, but that's the way that we like to look at it.
And it made both teams better. OG won TI, EG got third. They both did extremely well, right?
True.
So, you know.
They would have done not as well if they were the original OG squad.
Right.
I think everybody agrees
We assume,
with that.
yeah.
Well, it is time for these two former friends to take the stage here at the International 2019. Let's get them on. Evil Geniuses will take the stage here as they get ready for an important match. Winning here would guarantee them a top 3 finish, and we know that they are waiting for that opportunity to break past the top 3 and get to first. But they have to beat a top opponent first. OG has been their roadblock before. Will it be their roadblock again? We're gonna find out as OG will take the pod opposite of them. OG taking the stage here, indeed, the defending champions of the international, holders of the Aegis. We saw them during the opening ceremony, placing that Aegis on the pedestal as they now have rings as a remembrance of that achievement, but they are not done yet. They want more. They would like to be the first team to win 2 TIs and also be the one to do that in a row. Wouldn't that be a tremendous, tremendous achievement? That would be unheard of.
It would be.
We have never had that before.
No,
We've never had repeat champions, let alone back-to-back.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, most people going into the TIs that they just won honestly don't look that good. It might have been, honestly, EG after TI5, right? They went to TI6 looking okay, and now OG, they're so close to top 3, one more match, right? It's pretty insane.
Yeah, Will, there's a lot to talk about when we look at these 2 teams. And obviously, you know, you got the No-Tail and Fly story, but I want to focus on something else. You got Topson, you got Sumail. 2 Wonder Kids that basically have won TI first try. You know, you come to TI as a young kid, and you're like, okay, you know what, I'll take it. They both did it, and they're going to face each other. How important is this matchup for you in this game?
So in Korea, in StarCraft, we actually have a term for it. It's called, if you win the first major in your first ever try, you're considered a Royal Roader. You
Royal Roader.
Yeah, you
I
walk
like
that
it.
path that no one else has walked. You are a Royal Roader. It's like the highest distinction.
There's
it means
not
like,
many.
Yeah, it means like 1 of 1. You were the best at the time. It's such an impressive feat too, because oftentimes like at TIs you want that veteran experience. And here, both of these guys were able to win it in their first go. It almost warps your perception. It's like, that was easy. You just kind of stroll in, you win, you're like, okay, I guess that was no big deal. And I feel like that's stuck with them since. Especially for a guy like Sumail, I think that gave him unheard of confidence. And I feel like for Topson, it's done something similar, because the way that this guy plays, I mean, he's completely fearless.
Yeah, and it was how dominant they did it too, right? Like Sumail was definitely the best player at that TI, and Topson, a lot of people say, I mean, a lot of people want to go with Anna, but Topson very rarely like played poorly in that. It was insane. They didn't just get carried.
So somebody, Matama Man said recently, he said, Topson is probably like the player that might lose his lane the most, but he's also like the player that'll just win you the game the most as well. Yep. Like he does it all. He does all the little things correctly. Like he plays the game the right way. His laning mechanics are like whatever, because he plays very weird heroes that often lose his lane, but he'll make the game-winning plays.
That seems highly reminiscent of the critiques people had about Ana's early era into OG. Whenever they were winning majors and stuff like that, they were just like, Ana just keeps losing his lane, but somehow they keep winning, and that's sometimes what a team takes. Clearly, No-Tail and Seb know how to take advantage of a player who sacrifices themselves like that.
Yeah, you want to know about early OG days? Crit was on there.
Yeah, that's true.
He went to TI with OG, didn't do too hot, and of course he jumped ship.
The early one, yeah.
The
got
early
the ship
one.
early, bailed. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, we'll wait for the rest of them to come on over, but you know, I'll be here warm in the seats.
Yeah, and he's gone through a crazy transformation, coming out from captain and then focusing again on the position 4 role Tsunami.
He had tanked quite a bit of abuse early in his captaining days as well. Every single time that EG would show up to TI, obviously the bar was set at PPD captaining, and you're like, well, if he's not as good as PPD, then what's EG doing? But he kind of came into his own. He has relinquished the captaining role, which I think was the best for him, especially with Fly coming in. That dude is far more accomplished, and it allows Crit to focusing on just one thing, which is just being a beast of a 4 position.
Now, when we talk about OG, and when you see them play, you've watched all the documentaries, there's one overarching factor. It is confidence and comfort, and they are just very happy to just play the game. Friendship, sure. You want to go there? That's fine. But it feels like that this TI so far, that has been the major factor in terms of win and lose. Sure, the Dota, the Dota we see is great, but I feel like that we kind of see, the auto system kick in, and then everything else, like, you got to deal with the pressure.
Yeah, it's tough. I think OG, it's just crazy. Like, after